Let's be honest. Most men are blind to the signals women send. They think it's just luck, timing, or chemistry, but the truth? Women don't give themselves away easily. Every gesture, every little thing she does for you, it's loaded with meaning. And if you recognize it, if you see it for what it truly is, you're not just lucky. You've already won in a way most men never will. Think about this. She remembers the smallest details about you, the exact way you take your coffee, the song that makes you nostalgic, the exact time you feel drained and need space. Most men shrug it off as coincidence, but she's building a mental map of your world, noticing what makes you tick, storing it carefully. That's intimacy, subtle but powerful. That's a woman investing without even saying a word. Then there's the way she prioritizes you. Not in the dramatic, over-the-top way you see in movies, but quietly, consistently. She moves her schedule around, remembers your plans, texts when she knows you're stressed, checks in when you're not even expecting it. Most men don't notice this. They mistake it for friendship or just politeness. But this is a rare form of emotional currency she's giving freely, only to the ones she values most. And it's not just what she does, it's how she does it. The tone in her voice when she talks to you, the way her eyes linger, the little laughs that come when she's alone with you. Every micro-expression, every tiny action is a thread tying her to you. Men overlook this because they're chasing obvious signs: flirting, drama, attention. But true connection hides in the subtleties, in the quiet moments she chooses to spend making you feel seen and important. Here's a hard truth most men will never accept. Women rarely give this depth of care to anyone. She doesn't do this for everyone. She doesn't even do it for herself sometimes. When she invests this kind of attention in you, it's not casual, it's selective, and it's deliberate. She's already doing what 90% of men only dream of receiving. And that's why this is your advantage. You're witnessing behavior most men are blind to. Most men will chase flashy gestures, overlook the quiet acts that matter, and wonder why women play games. The real game isn't about chasing attention, it's about recognizing value. She's giving you a glimpse of hers, and it's powerful. She's already opening doors for you most men won't even realize exist. So watch closely, because if she's doing this for you truly, deeply, consistently, you don't need to overthink, overanalyze, or prove yourself endlessly. You've crossed an invisible line that few men ever reach. You're not just in her life, you're in her mind, her care, her priority. And that's where the winning starts. Most men think they're the ones in control of attraction, but the reality is far more unsettling and far more powerful than they imagine. When she does certain things for you, it's not just kindness. It's a subtle test of your emotional awareness. Women instinctively gauge who truly notices, who truly understands, and who will rise to the level of her investment. She's watching your reactions, your energy, the way you handle small moments that seem insignificant. Every ignored text, every rushed conversation, every lack of recognition chips away at her focus. But when you notice even quietly, you're giving her the signal that you're not like the others. Pay attention to how she communicates when she's busy. Most men misread a simple, "I'm tired," or "I have plans," as disinterest. But when she's genuinely doing something for you despite her fatigue or stress, it's not convenience, it's choice. She's choosing you over her own ease. That's a level of investment most men will never comprehend. And here's the thing. This choice is fragile. It doesn't stay forever if it goes unnoticed. It doesn't linger if you don't respond with awareness, care, and respect. Then there's the emotional labor she carries silently. She remembers conflicts you've had. She anticipates how your moods shift. She knows when a conversation is worth having, and when silence is more powerful. She's constantly weighing, adjusting, and adapting. Men see the surface. Oh, she's just being nice. But underneath, she's performing a psychological dance that requires intuition, patience, and insight. And when she invests this level of attention in you, she's showing something she rarely offers: trust. Trust isn't casual. Trust is a high-stakes currency women guard fiercely. When she lets her guard down just enough to care for you in meaningful ways, she's saying without words, "You matter to me in a way most men never will." This isn't about love letters or grand romantic gestures. It's about the quiet alignment of energies, the way she subtly structures her life to include you, notice you, and protect you from disappointment before it even arrives. That is power, that is connection, and that is your secret advantage if you recognize it. And let's be brutally honest, most men will never see it. They'll focus on what's loud, obvious, or fleeting. They'll miss the quiet, consistent patterns that reveal true priority. But you're different. You're learning to read the invisible. You're learning to see the signals. Most men overlook the little sacrifices, the mental bandwidth she dedicates to you, the way she celebrates your wins silently and shares your burdens without complaint. That awareness isn't just useful, it's transformative. It gives you leverage, insight, and an understanding of female psychology that most men chase desperately their whole lives. And once you internalize it, once you truly grasp what it means when she's giving you this level of care, you start to understand something vital. She's already chosen you in her mind long before words ever catch up. And if you fail to see it, you might never know what you had until it's gone. The most dangerous thing for a man is to underestimate what she's already doing for him. She's not handing you attention blindly. She's sending signals that go far beyond words. Every smile that lingers a fraction too long. Every subtle touch when she thinks you're not noticing. Every time she laughs at a joke only you would understand it's not casual. It's a language of care, of selection, of desire that most men completely miss. And if you miss it too, you'll never grasp just how far ahead you already are. Notice how she adjusts around you, not just physically, but emotionally. She mirrors your energy, she leans into your rhythm, she softens tension before it even appears. Most men interpret this as comfort, but it's much more than that, it's alignment. She's testing the waters of compatibility at a level you can't fake. She's showing you that she trusts you with her state of mind, with her mood, with her vulnerabilities. That is the highest level of psychological intimacy, short of saying, "I care about you deeply." Then consider her protective instincts. She subtly defends your reputation in conversations with friends. She gently guides discussions so your strengths are highlighted and your weaknesses minimized. She invests mental energy to make you look better, to make you feel seen, even when she doesn't get recognition for it. Men think attraction is about how a woman looks at them in private, but the truth is much deeper. True attraction is what she does for you when no one else is watching. That is how you know she values you. That is how you know she's already invested. Here's the part most men never understand. The smallest sacrifices often carry the largest weight. She may let go of a night out with friends just to help you with something trivial. She may forego a personal hobby to be present for a moment that matters to you. It seems insignificant on the surface, but these are tiny deposits of trust and care into your relationship account. Recognize them, respond appropriately, and you've already moved leagues ahead of the average man who takes these actions for granted. And let's talk about consistency. She doesn't just invest in bursts or dramatic moments, she invests quietly, consistently, in ways you may not even notice at first. The way she checks in after a long day, the way she remembers small preferences, the way she notices subtle changes in your mood, these are all signals that she's actively prioritizing you. And consistency is rarer than any grand gesture. Any man can buy flowers or post on social media, but very few can sustain the invisible, subtle care she gives, only to the ones she truly values. This is the part where most men fail. They chase the flashy, the loud, the obvious. They miss the whispers of attention that carry more weight than any dramatic declaration. But if you're paying attention, if you're decoding these subtle signs, you're not just seeing her, you're understanding her. You're seeing her intentions, her priorities, and the rare truth that she's already chosen you long before words ever made it official. And once you recognize this, you start to operate from a position of power, insight, and understanding that most men will never even dream of. Women don't always say what they mean. Most men get trapped chasing words, looking for clarity, and missing the truth hidden in actions. She doesn't test you with quizzes or obvious challenges. Her tests are subtle, invisible to the untrained eye, yet life-defining in what they reveal. When she does something small but consistent for you, she's measuring your awareness, your patience, your respect, your ability to see beyond surface-level gestures. And passing these silent tests isn't about effort, it's about perception. Think about how she reacts when plans go wrong. Does she still check in, still show care, still maintain that quiet energy for you? Or does she withdraw, subtly, like a candle flickering in the wind? These moments aren't random. They're her way of assessing whether you're someone she can rely on when life gets messy. She's testing not just your competence, but your emotional stability, your calm under pressure, and your capacity to reciprocate care without being asked. Most men fail this test without even realizing it. Then there's the way she lets her guard down. Not completely, because women rarely do, but in small, almost imperceptible ways. She shares a fear, a regret, a memory she normally keeps to herself. She laughs at a vulnerability she usually hides. If you react with judgment, sarcasm, or disinterest, the connection evaporates. But if you notice, acknowledge, and respond with subtle reassurance, you're passing a test that most men won't even see. That's how she measures depth. That's how she measures whether you're the one, in the unseen sense, that counts. And her attention isn't just about presence, it's about prioritization. Notice how she rearranges her world to make space for you. She may cancel minor plans, check in during moments of stress, or remember details that most men assume she would forget. These aren't coincidences, they're deliberate acts of emotional investment. She's quietly watching how you respond. Are you grateful, aware, and attentive? Or do you take it for granted, missing the value entirely? Your reaction defines whether she continues opening doors for you or quietly closes them. Here's a secret most men never grasp. Women communicate loyalty, interest, and desire almost entirely through action, not words. Every favor, every thoughtful gesture, every small adjustment in her schedule, it's a test and a signal at the same time. And the men who fail are the ones who focus on words, gestures that look romantic, or chasing validation. But if you see the invisible, if you understand the silent logic behind her choices, you hold a power few men ever experience. The power of recognition. Finally, let's be brutally clear. If she's doing all this for you, and you're aware, attentive, and appreciative, you're not just a participant in her life. You're a rare presence, one she's actively choosing, shaping her attention around, and protecting in her own quiet way. Most men will never experience this. Most men will chase signs and misread signals while the woman they desire quietly invests elsewhere. But you see it, you understand it, and recognizing this is the difference between chasing love and commanding it. Most men will never recognize when a woman is truly attached to them because they are looking for drama, not depth. The rare indicators of genuine care aren't loud, flashy, or obvious. They're quiet, almost invisible, yet they carry more weight than any grand gesture. She doesn't have to tell you she's thinking about you, her actions already do. And if you notice, if you interpret them correctly, you've already reached a level most men chase their entire lives. Look at the small things. She checks in at unpredictable moments, often without prompting, just to see how your day is going. She remembers details about your past that you barely mentioned, and she uses them in ways that make you feel seen, understood, and appreciated. Most men dismiss this as politeness or luck, but it's far more deliberate. She's embedding herself into your world mentally and emotionally, and only someone truly attentive will notice the depth of this investment. Then there's the way she subtly prioritizes your comfort over her convenience. It could be as simple as adjusting her schedule to fit yours, or as complex as offering support in ways you didn't even ask for but deeply needed. These acts are not about obligation, they are proof of attachment. Women rarely go out of their way for someone they don't truly value, and when she does this consistently, you're witnessing something extraordinary, a quiet, unspoken declaration of trust, care, and loyalty. Another indicator is the protective energy she channels on your behalf. She'll quietly defend you in conversations, celebrate your successes in ways that feel organic, and stand by your side during challenging moments. You may miss it because it's subtle, but it's intentional. She's signaling to herself and to the world that you are someone worthy of her energy, her attention, and her subtle influence. Very few men get to experience this level of quiet investment, yet it's one of the clearest signs she's already chosen you in her mind. And here's the psychological truth. The men who recognize these signs and respond with awareness, respect, and calm confidence become irreplaceable. They don't overreact. They don't chase validation. They understand that her actions are more telling than her words. They give her space while appreciating her investment. They reciprocate in ways that reinforce trust and deepen the bond without forcing it. This is how you move from being a participant in her life to becoming a permanent, valued presence. So pay attention. Notice the subtle alignment of her energy with yours. Notice the mental bandwidth she dedicates to your well-being. Notice the consistent, quiet gestures that most men overlook. This is where real power lies, in understanding the invisible, responding thoughtfully, and quietly solidifying your position in her mind and heart. When you see it and act accordingly, you're no longer chasing love, you're commanding it. The men who succeed in love aren't the loudest, the flashiest, or the most persistent. They're the ones who see what others miss. She's already shown you her mind, her care, her subtle devotion. She's already done the hard work most men will never notice. And now, it's your turn not to prove yourself, but to recognize, appreciate, and respond in a way that locks in trust, respect, and attraction on a level few men ever experience. Notice how she chooses you, in moments no one else sees. The extra effort she makes, the quiet attention she gives, the sacrifices she doesn't announce, they're all invisible threads tying her to you. Most men focus on words, dates, or dramatic gestures. But the reality is that the invisible, consistent actions matter far more. She's already giving you signals most men would completely miss. Recognizing them is your secret advantage. And here's the psychological truth. When a woman consistently does things for you, even the smallest acts, she is effectively handing you a key to understanding her priorities, her trust, and her heart. How you respond determines whether that trust deepens or fades. Respond with awareness, calm confidence, and subtle reciprocity. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overanalyze it. A simple acknowledgement, appreciation, and steady presence speak louder than grand declarations ever could. She's already made a choice. She's already woven you into the fabric of her life. Your power now lies in being the man who sees it, honors it, and elevates it without needing constant affirmation. This is what separates men who are forgotten from men who are remembered, cherished, and relied upon. And this is the secret most men will never learn. They're too busy chasing signs instead of seeing the reality before them. Now here's something for you to think about, something I want you to answer in the comments. If her effort is X and your awareness is Y, what happens when you match her care with equal or greater energy? Think about it. Drop your answer below. And while you're at it, hit like if this opened your eyes. Subscribe for more insights most men will never hear. And share this with a friend who needs to understand this before it's too late. Remember, the truth is simple. If she's doing things for you that most men would never notice, you've already won more than half the battle. But winning fully, that comes from seeing it, valuing it, and acting with quiet precision. So look closely, pay attention, and never underestimate the subtle power of a woman who's already chosen you.